Captain Kim stood at the observation deck of Earth's International Space Station, gazing at the stars. The vastness of space had always called to him, but today something felt different. A flicker of light caught his attention, unusual movement among the stars. "Sir, we're detecting an unidentified object entering Earth's orbit," reported Officer Lee, her voice steady despite the unprecedented situation. "How large?" Kim asked, already moving toward the command center. "Massive, sir. Approximately 3 kilometers in length." Within hours, every major government received the same message. A peaceful delegation from the Galactic Confederation requested formal contact. The world leaders scrambled to respond, eventually agreeing to a meeting in neutral territory, the International Space Station. Kim, as the station's commander and Earth's most decorated space diplomat, would represent humanity in this first contact. He had trained for countless scenarios, but nothing quite like this. The alien vessel that approached the station shimmered with an iridescent blue glow. It was elegant, with sweeping curves that defied Earth's understanding of aerospace engineering. A smaller craft detached from the main vessel and docked with practiced precision. When the airlock opened, Kim stood waiting, flanked by representatives from Earth's major nations. The aliens who emerged looked surprisingly humanoid, tall and graceful with silvery skin that reflected light like polished metal. Their leader stepped forward, a female figure adorned with intricate symbols along her arms. "I am Princess Hannah of the Novan Empire. We come in peace," she said in perfect English, her voice melodic and clear. Kim bowed slightly. "Captain Kim of Earth, we welcome you to our home." The formal introductions continued, but Kim noticed Princess Hannah studying him with particular interest. Later, during the diplomatic reception, she approached him privately. "Your species is fascinating," she said. "You've achieved so much in such a short evolutionary time span." "We're persistent," Kim replied with a smile. "More than that, you adapt in ways my people have forgotten." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion across the room. One of the Earth diplomats had collapsed, clutching his chest. A heart attack. Medical staff rushed forward, but Princess Hannah moved faster. She placed her hand over the man's heart, and a soft glow emanated from her fingers. Within moments, the diplomat's color returned, and he breathed normally. "How did you?" Kim began. "Biological manipulation. Once common among my people, now rare," she explained. "Our abilities weaken with each generation. This is partly why we sought you out." Before she could elaborate, a tall male Novan approached, his expression stern. "Princess, the king demands your return to the vessel immediately." "My father disapproves of my interest in Earth," she explained to Kim, "but I believe in this connection strongly enough to defy him." The following day, Earth's United Council met to discuss the Novan contact. Debates raged about whether to trust these advanced aliens. "They could have destroyed us already if that was their intention," Kim argued. "And they shared medical technology that's already saving lives." Defense Minister Park countered, "Or they're softening us up for something else. Why is this princess so interested in humans specifically?" The debate was interrupted when the Novan mothership broadcast a message worldwide. Princess Hannah appeared on screens globally. "People of Earth, I extend an invitation to your world. We propose an alliance between our civilizations. To facilitate this process, we request a human diplomat accompany us back to our homeworld." The council erupted in arguments. Some saw opportunity, others a trap. Eventually, they reached a compromise. They would send a representative, but one with both diplomatic and military experience. Captain Kim was the obvious choice. 2 days later, Kim prepared to depart Earth. His small team included scientists, linguists, and security personnel. Princess Hannah greeted them aboard her ship. "My father, King Ta, has reluctantly agreed to receive you," she said. "Though I should warn you, I issued a royal decree to force his hand." "A decree?" Kim asked. "In our culture, royal decrees are binding. I've decreed that a human representative must be brought to our homeworld to establish formal relations. As they toured the massive vessel, Kim marveled at technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Artificial gravity, faster than light travel, and food synthesizers that could create any Earth dish from memory. Princess Hannah introduced Kim to her royal guard, led by Commander June, who regarded the humans with obvious suspicion. "The princess places too much faith in primitive species," June muttered to his subordinates, not realizing Kim understood their language thanks to the translation device he'd been given. Later that evening, Princess Hannah invited Kim to her private observatory. The view of space from faster-than-light travel was unlike anything humans had ever witnessed. Stars stretched into bands of light. "The truth is, Captain Kim, there's more to my decree than simple diplomacy," she admitted. "Our species has grown stagnant. We've mastered technology, but lost something vital: the drive to adapt, to overcome. We've observed your people for decades. Humans face challenges and grow stronger. My sisters and I believe an alliance with humanity could revitalize our people." "Is that why your father objects?" Kim asked. "Partly. He sees humans as undeveloped and potentially dangerous. But I see potential. The ancient prophecies speak of star wanderers who would bring new strength to our lineage." Their conversation was cut short by blaring alarms. Commander June's voice came through the communication system. "Princess, we're under attack. Rival faction vessels approaching from Sector 7. Kim rushed with Princess Hannah to the command center. The view screen showed 3 aggressive ships firing energy weapons at their vessel. "The Krell," explained June. "They oppose any alliance with new species." The ship rocked with impacts despite its advanced shields. Kim studied the attack pattern. "They're targeting your propulsion systems," he observed. "Classic wolf pack formation." Commander June scoffed. "What would a human know of space warfare?" "Enough to see they're herding you toward that nebula," Kim replied, pointing to the tactical display. "It's a trap." Princess Hannah looked between them. "What do you suggest, Captain?" Kim outlined a counterintuitive strategy: accelerating toward the attackers instead of away, using the ship's superior defenses while targeting the lead vessel's weapon systems. Commander June objected, but Princess Hannah overruled him. "Let's try the human way." The maneuver worked perfectly. The Novan ship sustained minimal damage while disabling 2 enemy vessels and forcing the third to retreat. Commander June approached Kim afterward, reluctantly offering respect. Perhaps there is wisdom in Princess Hannah's decree after all. As repairs were completed, Princess Hannah found Kim on the observation deck. "This is just the beginning," she said. "The journey to our homeworld will take 2 more Earth weeks. My father and sisters await. Not all as friendly as I am." Kim nodded, gazing at the unfamiliar stars. "I'm ready for whatever comes next." The Novan royal vessel glided through space, a marvel of engineering that made Earth's most advanced spacecraft look primitive by comparison. Captain Kim spent his days learning about Novan culture and technology, often finding himself both amazed and confused. "You must try this," Princess Hannah said, offering Kim a strange blue fruit during their shared meal. "It's considered a delicacy on our homeworld." Kim hesitated but took a bite. The fruit changed flavor 3 times in his mouth, first sweet, then tangy, and finally something like mint. "Your expression is priceless," Hannah laughed, her silvery eyes twinkling. "Most species find our food overwhelming." "It's certainly different," Kim admitted. "Everything here is." Princess Hannah showed Kim around the ship with enthusiasm. The vessel contained entire ecosystems within specialized chambers, forests with trees that seemed to glow from within, gardens with plants that moved deliberately, and even a small ocean habitat with creatures Kim could barely describe. "Our ship is designed for long journeys," Hannah explained. "Some Novans live their entire lives aboard vessels like this, exploring the furthest reaches of the galaxy." During their tour, they encountered Commander June, who still regarded Kim with suspicion despite the humans' help during the attack. "The princess spends too much time with you," June said when Hannah was called away by royal advisors. Do not mistake her scientific curiosity for affection. I'm here as Earth's representative, nothing more, Kim responded calmly, though he wondered about the commander's hostility. That evening, Kim joined Princess Hannah in her private study. The walls displayed three-dimensional star maps that shifted as she moved her hands. I need to explain something important, Hannah said, her tone suddenly serious. There's a reason I brought you here, beyond simple diplomacy. She waved her hand, and the star map transformed into a DNA helix. This is Novan genetic structure, she explained. The helix rotated, showing bright points along its length. These markers represent special abilities we once possessed in abundance: cellular regeneration, telepathic communication, energy manipulation. The bright points dimmed. With each generation, these abilities weaken. Why? Kim asked. Genetic stagnation. Our civilization became too perfect, too comfortable. We stopped adapting. She waved again, and a human DNA strand appeared alongside the Novan one. Human DNA contains remarkable adaptability. You evolve quickly even without technology's help. Kim studied the comparison. So that's why you're interested in humans. You think we can help restore these abilities. Not exactly restore, Hannah corrected. Create something new. A genetic alliance between our species could benefit both worlds. She looked at him directly. This is the true purpose of my decree, to forge a bond that would strengthen both our kinds. Before Kim could respond, the ship's alarms blared. They rushed to the command center, where screens showed 3 vessels approaching. More Krell ships? Kim asked. Commander June shook his head. Worse. Vex pirates. They seek advanced technology and don't care who they kill to get it. The pirate vessels surrounded them, jamming their communications. The lead ship transmitted a message: surrender the royal vessel or be destroyed. We can't outrun them in this sector, June said grimly. And our weapons systems were damaged in the previous attack. Kim studied the tactical display. What about that asteroid field? He pointed to a dense cluster nearby. Too dangerous, June dismissed. Our ship is too large to navigate safely. But what if we separated the ship? Kim suggested, remembering how the vessel had modular sections. The main section could create a distraction while a smaller pod carries Princess Hannah to safety. June looked skeptical, but Princess Hannah supported the plan. It could work. Prepare my personal transport. The plan moved quickly. As the main vessel engaged the pirates, Kim, Princess Hannah, Commander June, and a small security team boarded a sleek transport pod. They detached during the battle and slipped toward the asteroid field. The asteroids will mask our signature, Kim explained as they entered the dangerous region, but we need to navigate carefully. Commander June took the controls but struggled with the dense field. After a near collision, he reluctantly allowed Kim to pilot. The human's reflexes and instinctive understanding of physics helped them weave through the asteroid maze while the pirates attempted to follow. There, Kim pointed to a massive asteroid with a deep crevice. We can hide in that gap until they pass. They nestled the pod into the rocky shelter just as 2 pirate ships entered the field. Tense minutes passed as everyone held their breath. The pirates moved closer, scanning for them. They'll find us soon, June whispered. Kim studied the surrounding asteroids. Not if we give them something else to chase. He pointed to the ship's emergency beacon. We can eject it on the opposite side of the field. Princess Hannah nodded approval. The plan worked. The pirates followed the beacon, allowing them to slip away undetected. Hours later, they reunited with the main vessel, which had sustained damage but escaped destruction. Princess Hannah addressed the crew, with Kim standing beside her. Today we witnessed what humans call thinking outside the box, she announced. Captain Kim's unconventional strategy saved our ship and our mission. In the privacy of the royal chambers afterward, Princess Hannah showed Kim a mysterious device, a small crystal that pulsed with inner light. This contains our species' complete genetic history, she explained. It's what the pirates were truly after. If they had captured me, they would have forced me to unlock its secrets. Why show me this? Kim asked. Because you've earned my trust, she replied. And because you need to understand what's at stake. This device also contains records of an ancient prophecy about our people meeting star wanderers who would help us create a new future. Kim looked skeptical. I don't believe in prophecies. Yet here you are, exactly as foretold. Hannah smiled. A human from a young world, showing strength where we've grown weak. That night, Kim couldn't sleep. He walked the quiet corridors until he found an observation lounge. Commander June was there, staring at the stars. You saved her life today, June said without turning. For that, you have my gratitude. I was just doing my job, Kim replied. Perhaps. June finally faced him. But know this, Princess Hannah's interest in you goes beyond politics or science. She believes you specifically are important to our future. Why me? Kim asked. That, said June, is what frightens me. He handed Kim a small device. Learn our language properly. You'll need it when we reach the royal court. Not everyone will be as welcoming as Princess Hannah. As June left, Kim activated the device. Novan characters floated in the air before him, beautiful and complex. He began to study them, wondering what awaited him at their destination. The ship continued its journey, carrying them toward an uncertain future, and the meeting with King Tai and the royal sisters who, according to Princess Hannah, had their own reasons for wanting to meet a human from Earth. The Novan royal vessel approached the homeworld, a planet that gleamed like a jewel against the darkness of space. From orbit, Kim could see vast cities that sparkled with light, surrounded by oceans of deep purple. It's beautiful, Kim said, standing beside Princess Hannah at the observation deck. Wait until you see it up close, she replied. But first, we must prepare you for the royal court. The next hours were filled with urgent lessons. Kim learned proper greetings, royal protocols, and how to respond to the king. Commander June supervised these lessons with surprising patience. The royal sisters will test you, June warned, each in their own way. Be honest but respectful. What are they like? Kim asked. Princess Su is the keeper of ancient knowledge. Princess Jin commands our military forces. Princess Yuna oversees scientific advancement. Together with Princess Hannah, they form the royal quartet, the future of our civilization. The ship descended through the atmosphere, landing in a massive courtyard surrounded by towering crystal spires. A delegation waited for them, officials in shimmering robes and guards with ceremonial weapons. As Kim stepped onto Novan soil, he felt slightly lighter than on Earth. The air carried sweet scents he couldn't identify. A group of children pointed at him from behind a barrier, clearly fascinated by his appearance. The first human on our world, Princess Hannah said proudly. A historic moment. The royal palace was overwhelming. Ceilings that stretched hundreds of feet high, rooms that seemed to change shape as they walked through them, and artwork that moved and responded to their presence. Guards watched Kim carefully, their expressions unreadable. They entered a vast circular chamber where sunlight streamed through crystal windows. On a raised platform sat King Tai, his silver skin bearing intricate markings of office. Beside him stood three females who resembled Princess Hannah, but with distinct differences. One with hair like flowing water, another with eyes that seemed to contain stars, and the third with an aura of calm intelligence. Princess Hannah stepped forward and bowed. Father, I present Captain Kim of Earth, Ambassador of Humanity. King Tai studied Kim with cold eyes. So this is the creature you defied me to bring here. Unimpressive. Kim bowed deeply, exactly as June had taught him. Your Majesty, I am honored to stand before you. Earth extends its hand in friendship to the Novan people. The king made a dismissive gesture. We shall see. The Royal Council will convene tomorrow to hear your case for alliance. Until then, you are a guest in our palace, although not by my choice. After the king departed, the three sisters approached. The one with flowing hair spoke first. "I am Princess Sue," she said. "The Star Wanderers arrive as foretold." "Fascinating." "Star Wanderers?" Kim asked. "An ancient prophecy," explained Princess Sue. "It speaks of beings from distant stars who would bring renewal to our lineage when we needed it most." The military sister, Princess Jin, circled Kim with a calculating gaze. "He survived pirate attacks and Krell ambushes. Perhaps there is more to humans than their primitive technology suggests." The third sister, Princess Yuna, simply studied him without speaking, her eyes reflecting an intelligence that made Kim uncomfortable. That evening, Princess Hannah escorted Kim to his quarters, a suite of rooms that adapted to his comfort preferences automatically. "The council meeting tomorrow will be difficult," she warned. "Many conservatives oppose any alliance with younger species." "Why did you choose Earth?" Kim asked. "There must be other species more advanced than humans." "Advanced technology doesn't equal evolutionary potential," Hannah replied. "My sisters and I have studied thousands of species. Humans adapt faster than any we've encountered. You overcome challenges instead of avoiding them." The next morning, Princess Sue arrived at Kim's quarters unexpectedly. "Walk with me," she commanded. She led him through ancient corridors lined with historical records, living images that showed the Novan history. 10,000 years ago, our people could reshape matter with thought alone. Sue explained. 5,000 years ago, we could still heal any wound instantly. Now those gifts appear in barely one child in 1,000. They entered a sealed chamber where a glowing book floated above a pedestal. "The Prophecy of Renewal," Sue said, "written by our greatest seer 3 millennia ago. It describes visitors from a blue world who carry in their blood the seeds of rebirth." Kim approached the book cautiously. As he neared, the pages turned on their own, revealing illustrations that looked remarkably like humans. "This was written before your species even developed agriculture," Sue noted, "yet it describes you with perfect accuracy." "I don't believe in prophecies," Kim said carefully. "Belief is irrelevant to truth," Sue replied. "The prophecy also warned of those who would prevent the renewal. Our enemies grow stronger while we weaken." Later that day, Kim was summoned by Princess Jin to the military training grounds. The elite Novan soldiers demonstrated combat forms that blended physical movements with energy manipulation. "Impressive," Kim commented. "Once, all Novans could generate energy shields," Jin said. "Now only my specialized troops can manage even simple projections." She handed Kim a weapon, a staff that hummed with power. "Show me how humans fight," she challenged. Kim had trained in multiple Earth combat styles. He demonstrated basic movements, adapting to the lighter gravity. The Novan soldiers watched with interest. "Your techniques are primitive but effective," Jin concluded. "You rely on physical strength where we once used gifts that are now fading." The Royal Council convened that afternoon. Representatives from every Novan province filled the grand chamber. Kim stood before them as Princess Hannah formally proposed alliance between humans and Novans. "This primitive species has nothing to offer us," argued an elderly counselor. "They barely understand interstellar travel. Yet they survived challenges that would have destroyed many advanced worlds," countered Princess Hannah. "Their adaptability is precisely what we need." The debate grew heated. Kim noticed Princess Yuna, who had yet to speak to him, watching the proceedings with analytical calm. King Ta finally raised his hand for silence. "Before we vote on this alliance, the human must prove his worth. I propose the trials of compatibility." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Princess Hannah looked concerned. "The trials haven't been used in centuries," she protested. "Then it is time to revive the tradition," the king declared. "Captain Kim will face 3 challenges against champions from our allied species. If he succeeds, we will consider this alliance." As the council adjourned, Princess Yuna finally approached Kim. "The king believes you will fail," she said, her first words to him. "But I have analyzed your species extensively. Humans possess something we have lost, not just genetic adaptability, but something more fundamental." "What's that?" Kim asked. Hope, Yuna replied simply. You believe tomorrow can be better than today. We once did too. That night, Kim stood on the balcony of his quarters, looking at strange stars. Commander June joined him silently. The trials will be difficult, June finally said. Possibly fatal. What exactly are these trials? Kim asked. Tests of mind, body, and spirit, June explained, against species chosen to exploit human weaknesses. Why would the king want me to fail? June looked troubled. Because the prophecy doesn't just speak of renewal, it speaks of change. And for those in power, change is always threatening. The grand arena filled with thousands of Novans, their silvery skin reflecting the morning light. Kim stood in the center, trying to calm his racing heart. Around the circular field, screens displayed his vital signs for all to see. The royal family watched from an elevated platform. King Ta with cold eyes, Princess Hannah looking worried, Princess Su studying ancient texts, Princess Jin analyzing with military precision, and Princess Yuna taking notes on a transparent tablet. The trials of compatibility will now begin, announced a court official. 3 challenges to test if humans are worthy of alliance with the Novan Empire. The first challenger entered the arena, a tall, insect-like being with 4 arms and compound eyes. Behold Zik of the Arachnid Collective, the announcer proclaimed, master of logic and mathematics. Commander June approached Kim. This is the trial of mind. The arachnids process information 10 times faster than humans. A large holographic puzzle appeared between Kim and Zik, a complex 3-dimensional maze that constantly shifted its configuration. Both competitors must guide energy spheres through the maze to the center, explained the official. First to complete the task wins. The challenge began. Zik moved with incredible speed, his 4 hands manipulating the energy sphere with precision. Kim struggled to keep up, the maze changing faster than he could track. He's going to lose, murmured a Novan in the crowd. Kim paused, watching Zik's approach. The arachnid was following the maze exactly, making perfect turns, but often hitting dead ends as the maze shifted. Kim realized something. The maze wasn't random. It had patterns. Instead of following the current path, Kim began anticipating the maze's next configuration. He guided his sphere toward where openings would appear rather than where they were now. This intuitive approach gained him ground. The crowd grew silent as Kim caught up to Zik. The arachnid increased his pace but kept hitting dead ends. With a final burst of insight, Kim sent his sphere through the center point moments before Zik. The human wins the first trial, declared the official. Princess Yuna wrote something in her notes. Princess Hannah smiled proudly. The second challenger was a massive, rock-like being that trembled the ground with each step. Behold Cruel of the Granite Collective, announced the official. His species can withstand extreme forces and temperatures. The trial of body, June explained. Physical endurance. A circle was drawn in the arena. Both competitors had to remain inside while the ground beneath them changed dramatically, first becoming intensely hot, then freezing cold, then vibrating violently. Cruel stood impassively as the surface heated. Kim felt pain in his feet but refused to step out. When the freezing began, his teeth chattered uncontrollably. The massive Cruel seemed unaffected. Humans are physically weak, King Ta commented. This will end soon. But Kim remained in the circle. When the vibrations began, Cruel's massive weight became a disadvantage. The stone being struggled to maintain balance while Kim adapted his stance, bending his knees like a surfer riding waves. When the platform began to tilt sharply, Cruel finally lost balance and stepped outside the circle. The human wins the second trial, announced the official. Princess Jin nodded with newfound respect. The crowd murmured in surprise. The final challenger appeared, a being of translucent blue floating above the ground. Behold Luma of the Ethereal Communion, the announcer said. Masters of emotional perception. The trial of spirit, whispered June. Perhaps the most difficult. A shimmering field surrounded both competitors. Within this field, their deepest emotions would be projected for all to see. Both must cross to the opposite side while maintaining emotional control, explained the official. Any strong emotional surge will create barriers in the field. Luma moved gracefully forward, its emotions perfectly balanced. Kim took a step, and immediately walls sprouted around him as anxiety surged. The crowd saw projections of his fears: failing Earth, dying on an alien world, never seeing home again. Kim closed his eyes and took deep breaths. He focused on memories of purpose and determination. The walls receded slightly. Step by step, he moved forward, fighting surges of doubt that created new barriers. Halfway across, Luma was far ahead, moving effortlessly. Then the ethereal paused, looking back at Kim's struggle with what seemed like curiosity. Kim confronted his deepest fear: the humans truly were inferior, unworthy of standing among advanced species. The crowd watched as this fear manifested as a massive wall before him. Instead of fighting it, Kim accepted the fear. "Maybe we are less advanced," he said aloud, "but we keep trying anyway. That's what humans do." The wall shimmered and dissolved. Something in this acceptance created a path forward. Kim walked the remaining distance steadily, reaching the end just after Luma. "The ethereal completes the crossing first," declared the official. The crowd waited for the king's judgment. King Ta stood. "The human has lost the final trial," he announced. "No," interrupted Luma, its voice like wind through crystal. "The human showed something rare, truth in the face of fear. In our measure, that is victory." Murmurs spread through the arena. After a tense moment, the official announced, "The human passes the third trial." That evening, the royal council reconvened. Princess Hannah formally presented the alliance proposal. "Humans have proven their value," she stated. "I propose a treaty including cultural exchange programs, scientific cooperation, and genetic research for mutual benefit." Princess Yuna stepped forward with data projections. "My analysis shows human adaptability could help restore our declining abilities within 3 generations. A research program with willing human participants called." An explosion rocked the chamber. Smoke filled the air as masked figures rappelled from the ceiling. Laser fire scattered the council members. "The Krell!" shouted Commander Jun, drawing his weapon. Princess Jin leaped into action, her training evident as she disabled 2 attackers with precise strikes. Princess Hannah created an energy shield around key council members. Kim spotted a Krell operative aiming at Princess Yuna as she protected her research data. He tackled the attacker, wrestling the weapon away despite being burned by its energy discharge. "The research center," Princess Hannah shouted over the chaos. "They're after the genetic repository." Commander Jun organized the royal guards, while Kim helped Princess Su secure ancient texts. The attack was coordinated, clearly an inside job with knowledge of palace security. "We need to reach the central vault," Princess Jin ordered. "It contains the complete Novan genetic library." As they fought their way through the palace corridors, Kim noticed how the royal sisters worked together, each using their unique strengths. Princess Hannah's diplomatic skills had brought him here. Princess Jin's military expertise was protecting them. Princess Su's knowledge of ancient passages provided escape routes. Princess Yuna's scientific brilliance had identified sabotaged systems. They reached the vault to find 3 Krell operatives already breaking through its defenses. "If they access those records, they could create biological weapons against our people," Princess Yuna explained urgently. Kim studied the situation and formulated a plan. Using Earth military tactics and the sisters' abilities, they surrounded the operatives. Princess Hannah created a distraction while Princess Jin, Kim, and the guards attacked from multiple angles. The fight was fierce but brief. As the last operative fell, alarms indicated the attack was being repelled throughout the palace. King Tai arrived with reinforcements, surveying the scene with new eyes. He looked at Kim, who was injured but standing protective beside his daughters. "Perhaps," the king said slowly, "there is more to these humans than I initially believed." The royal palace bustled with activity as workers repaired damage from the Krell attack. Guards doubled at every entrance, their weapons ready. In the medical chamber, Kim sat patiently as a Novan healer treated his burns with a glowing gel that instantly soothed the pain. "You fought well for a species without natural armor," the healer commented, examining Kim's skin with professional curiosity. "Humans compensate in other ways," Kim replied with a slight smile. Princess Hannah entered the chamber, her elegant robes replaced by more practical attire. "The Security Council has confirmed what we suspected. The Krell had help from within our government." "Who would betray their own people?" Kim asked. "Those who fear change," she answered, sitting beside him. "The ancient prophecies frighten conservative factions. They believe mixing our genetics would dilute our purity rather than restore our strengths." Commander June arrived with urgent news. "We've captured the chief conspirator, High Counselor Mach. He confessed to providing the Krell with security codes." "My father must be devastated," Hannah said. Mach was his oldest advisor. "The king has called an emergency session of the full council," June continued. "All 4 princesses and the human representative are required to attend." The Grand Council chamber had been hastily restored. When Kim entered with Princess Hannah, he felt hundreds of eyes tracking his movements. The mood had changed. Where once there was skepticism or outright hostility, now there was curiosity and thoughtful evaluation. King Ta sat on his throne, looking older than before. The attack had affected him deeply. His trusted advisor's betrayal weighed visibly on his shoulders. "Let us begin," the king announced. "Yesterday's events have forced me to reconsider many things. The Krell would not have risked such a bold attack unless they truly feared what might come from human-Novan cooperation." Princess Su stepped forward with ancient scrolls. The archives of prophecy were the first target in their attack. They specifically sought to destroy the renewal predictions. Princess Jin followed with military data. "Our intelligence suggests the Krell have been weakening us systematically for generations, exploiting our genetic decline. They fear human adaptability combined with our technology." Princess Yuna presented her scientific findings. "I've analyzed Captain Kim's genetic structure extensively. Humans possess unique cellular regeneration properties that our species has lost. More importantly, their genetic diversity is remarkable. No 2 humans are exactly alike, creating constant adaptation." Princess Hannah completed the presentation. "The alliance I propose would begin with voluntary scientific exchange. No forced genetic mixing, no mandatory programs, just cooperation between willing participants from both worlds." King Ta listened silently, his expression unreadable. When the princesses finished, he turned to Kim. "You have fought for my family and my world, human. What do you seek in return?" Kim stood tall. "Earth is young among spacefaring worlds. We have much to learn, but also much to offer. We seek friendship, knowledge, and mutual protection in a universe larger than we imagined." The king considered his words. "I have ruled for 500 years. In that time, I have seen our abilities diminish with each generation. My daughters represent our brightest hope, each gifted in ways becoming increasingly rare." He paused. "Perhaps it is time for new approaches." The king rose from his throne, approaching Kim. The council chamber fell completely silent. "Captain Kim of Earth, I accept the alliance proposal. Let our worlds begin a new chapter together." The ceremony took place 3 days later in the Grand Plaza before thousands of Novan citizens. Kim wore a special ceremonial garment that Princess Su had designed, incorporating elements of Earth's cultures with Novan styles. The 4 princesses stood in a semicircle as King Tai and Kim signed the historic treaty. When they touched the crystal document together, it glowed brilliantly, encoding their agreement at the molecular level. "Today marks not an ending, but a beginning," declared King Ta. "The stars have brought us together for purposes perhaps greater than we yet understand." The crowd erupted in cheers, mostly supportive, though Kim noticed some citizens watching with concern or skepticism. Change would not come easily to a civilization thousands of years old. That evening, a celebration filled the palace gardens. Scientists from both worlds already eagerly discussed research possibilities. Princess Yuma had assembled a team to begin studying compatibility between human and Novan biology. "Your people adapt quickly," Princess Jin commented as she joined Kim on a balcony overlooking the festivities. "The Earth delegation seems unafraid of our world." "Curiosity is a powerful human trait," Kim replied. "Sometimes it overrides fear." Princess Sue approached with a small crystal box, a gift for Earth's first ambassador. "This contains seeds from our world's most ancient trees. They will grow in Earth's soil and clean your atmosphere as they mature." Princess Yuna added her own gift, a data crystal, the beginning of our medical knowledge. "It may help your people eliminate several diseases." Princess Hannah stood slightly apart, watching the exchange with a satisfied expression. When the other sisters departed, she joined Kim. "My father has appointed me as Novan ambassador to Earth," she revealed. "I'll be returning with you on the next vessel." "Earth will welcome you," Kim said, "though our technology will seem primitive compared to this." Hannah smiled. "Technology is just tools. Your people possess something more valuable: the drive to improve, to overcome challenges rather than avoid them. That's what my world needs to remember." Commander June approached with a formal bow. "The Earth vessel has arrived in orbit, Captain. They're ready to receive you and Princess Hannah whenever you're prepared to depart." 2 weeks later, Kim stood before Earth's United Council, Princess Hannah beside him. The room was packed with world leaders, scientists, and media representatives. "The Novan Alliance offers us knowledge centuries beyond our current understanding," Kim explained. "In return, they value our adaptability, our diversity, and our perspective as a younger species. And what guarantees do we have that this alliance benefits Earth equally?" asked a skeptical counselor. Princess Hannah stepped forward, her presence commanding instant attention. "My people ruled the stars when yours were building your first cities. We could have conquered your world easily. Instead, we seek partnership precisely because you are different from us. Your strength is our weakness. Together, we become more than either could be alone." As the council voted unanimously to ratify the treaty, Kim reflected on his journey. What had begun as a diplomatic mission had become something far more profound: the beginning of humanity's true place among the stars. Outside the council chambers, crowds had gathered to catch a glimpse of their visitor from another world. Children held drawings of Princess Hannah and the Novan homeworld based on images Kim had shared. "This marks not an end, but a beginning," Kim told the Earth Council, echoing King Ta's words. "Together, our civilizations will reach heights neither could achieve alone." Princess Hannah stood beside him, her silver eyes reflecting the sunlight of her new diplomatic home. "The Star Wanderers and the Ancient Ones," she said quietly, just as the prophecy foretold. Behind them, on a view screen, the first group of human scientists prepared to depart for the Novan homeworld, the pioneers of a new era of cooperation that would change both civilizations forever.